Alex Panayotou. Share. What comes up for you when you hear that word or think about
Ah,
the word share?
all things that are wonderful.
Ah,
Uh, Life, first of all, we are human beings. We were made to share. We're not born, and human beings are naturally uh, they're naturally social creatures.
yeah.
Community is something that we yearn for.
Hmm.
We've lost a lot of it, or the communities that we have are not necessarily very nurturing communities. So, however, we do know that whatever we're living, whether it's the high moments, the successes, the joys, whether they're huge ones or little ones, it all becomes more precious when we share it,
Yeah.
and is expands, grows, sparkles more. The weights and the troubles that we have to face, whether some by sharing it, sometimes we literally share it. So in a company, you can delegate and share, but even if it's things that are purely your own struggles, when you share it, of course, with the right people, and that is
Yeah.
the caveat, is with the right people, or the right person in the right time and moment, the weight is lightened, the load is lightened,
Yes.
and and sometimes we can gain more clarity. We gain more clarity very often by sharing and
Yeah.
having the right sounding board. We
Yeah.
gain joy and fulfillment in our life when we share it, and when we authentically share it. And
Right.
this is, and certain words for me are very important. And sharing, we feel more joy. Of course, we can feel joy in ourselves and on our own. And I'm somebody who, despite the fact that most people would think otherwise, I'm more introvert than extrovert. So
Same here. People don't guess that about me either.
I actually would have guessed it because we spoke already. So and because I know myself. So
Well, it takes one to know one.
exactly.
Yeah.
So we need our downtime, we need our quiet time, and when we're very, very tired or we need to recover, we need to do that in quiet settings with fewer people to know people.
Yeah.
However, sharing doesn't have to be with everybody all the time. Sharing can be intimate sharing, it can be larger sharing, but sharing enriches our lives. Sharing amplifies our joy. Sharing lightens our load. So, uh,
Yeah.
and it's precious. If I look back to the most impactful moments of my life, even if we're talking about professional life, my running career,
Right.
it wasn't the wow, look, I've done it. It was the hugs and tears, we've done it.
Nice.
And now with work is it's the bonds that are created, whether with colleagues or with clients. I went out to dinner with the head of a company that I've been working with for 4 months now, and it was
Wow.
just pre-Christmas, and this is what we discussed: how wonderful this has been. Not just the program and the outcomes, of course that's been wonderful, but the bond, the sharing, and the connection. And
Yeah.
this is a professional thing. So it enriches our lives.
Yeah. We are
Sharing.
herd
We're
animals,
sharing. We
right?
are.
And I say I love you to my clients, and usually they beat me to it. Right? I love that part. I don't care
And
to work
that's
with
probably
people
one of
that
the
I don't feel
reasons.
connected with. What's that?
It's probably one of the reasons why you're successful in what you do
Oh, thank you.
as well. Yeah. And we're sharing here now,
Yeah,
in an unusual way, and we haven't met face to face
not yet.
yet. And yet, this is enriching, and this is precious as well.
It is precious, and thank you for that. I do appreciate it because anytime that we've connected, whether it's been out online in comments or on the phone or here, that's been wonderful. So thank you. It does bring me great joy to connect with you. And the idea of herd animals, it's really fun. I watch Heartland. It's a TV series, and
I love it.
Do you? Oh my gosh. And
Well, of course I
she
do.
always takes him back to basics too, but she ignores the horse. And the horse can't stand it. Like the worst horse on the planet can't stand to be ignored. And that's when she
Yeah,
connects, and then she turns her back on that horse.
yeah,
That
yeah,
horse comes to her, man. Herd animals. They
yeah,
need each other. Oh, it's
exactly.
so beautiful
Yeah.
to watch that.
Even the ones, and this is, I love the fact that you brought up the heartland, even the most difficult, and this is where even the most difficult people, if they start looking into themselves, they want the herd. They want to be seen,
Yeah.
they want to be accepted, they
Yeah.
want to be heard, and they want to be, there were a few puns there as well. And they want to be, we all want to be brought in
Right.
to the
Well,
fold.
my background is special education, and for about 3.5 years, I worked in a psychiatric day treatment center with very violent young kids. They were probably like age 5 to 11. And I mean, they got like 7 violent boys at one time, and they were like so overwhelmed. And that's when I was asked to come in and consult. And then they even hired me as the teacher. And the number one thing is you can't be pissed with their behavior. And another thing is you can't let your ego get involved either. And so we had a team word called Q-tip. Quit taking it personally. And if you got into it with a kid, you might hear a staff say Q-tip, and boom, you walked away. The other staff member came in, and it was like fresh everything. And usually the kids turned around immediately. It was just so interesting. So,
Yeah.
and these are kids that really are so desperate to connect. Their brains aren't working. They've, been pulled from their schools because they're not learning. And all I did was play with them. And I got away with it for about 6 months of the 9-month school year. And then my boss said, well, the owners are coming and, can you at least do something that looks academic? Because they're kind of big on that. And I'm like, okay. And literally, I think it was maybe even longer than that, we just rolled around on the floor. We used boxes like that refrigerators were shipped in and crawled around sleeping bags and flashlights. I bought a couple of rats they could play with. If they were interested in something, I got the books and the videos on it, and we just had a good old time. And they stopped killing each other, and they were actually able to like sit down. I think it was just that like last month, really,
Mm.
that I really got the academic thing going. And one kid went up like 3 years,
Yeah.
and they all went up about a year in a month. It was just
1 month.
incredible.
1 month.
Yeah. And the worst thing about that situation, and my friend had the opposite in her classroom, she was in a typical school, is that they would throw the kids with autism in with the kids with the emotional behavior disorder. It was such a freaking disaster. Well, I had that situation, and I just had two flannel boards, and I sat the kid with the autistic label next to another kid, and they played like 2-year-olds, just what do they call that? I forget the words, but they just played independently. And finally, they started interacting, and that's how I sort of solved that problem. Again, the herd animal thing. And my friend, she had classroom full of kids with autism and had the kid with emotional behavior disorder put in her classroom, and he'd flip everybody's desk but his own. And the worst part about that combination is the kids with autism are going to like copy the behavior, right? And so one of the kids in her classroom flipped everybody's desks and his own. Like, there's the difference in labels right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
That was so
exactly, exactly.
yeah. But again, herd animals, copying, connecting, sharing. It's great. I love it. Thank you so much, Alex.
Thank you, Linda.